Hi zusammen, ich bin hier mit Chris Roberts, dem Vater vom Wing Commander und dem Entwickler von Star Citizen. Let us talk about Star Citizen and Squadron 42. What can you tell us about it and how it's connected to Star Citizen?
Okay, well, so Squadron 42 is a single-player game set inside the Star Citizen universe.
Yes.
Our users, they share the same technology and basically gameplay mechanics, a lot of them. So this Squadron 42 is a focused single-player narrative story, very much like a Wing Commander that I made in the old days, but sort of the next level where we've gone and last year and this year we spent a lot of time shooting 1,255 page script with some pretty amazing talented actors
like Mark
Hamill and Gary Oldman and we've got Gillian Anderson and Mark Strong and a whole bunch of other people I think it's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's basically, if I was making another Wing Commander, I'm doing all the things that I wanted to do, but I couldn't do, and I have the technology to do now. And also, I've brought in a lot of what I learned making movies for the past 10 years before I came back to games. So I think narratively, hopefully, it's going to really be something strong, and people are really going to. And the whole idea of it is you're going to trying to put you in the movie. So instead of Wing Commander, when you played the main character, but he was also Mark Hamill. So in the story scenes, you'd see Mark Hamill play out the scenes, and then you would fly the ship. This is you in it, and instead of it, you're interacting with Mark Hamill. He's the gruff pilot that's taking you under his wing, and you have all these other, it's like you're in a movie yourself.
Sounds great,
and and it's done at like an insane fidelity. It's going to match any big AAA sort of action adventure game out there. We're really pushing like the facial tech and the performance capture and all that, as well as everything. And we're taking a lot of the base tech, the same tech we have in Star Citizen, so seamless transition from running around first person into ships, into space, down onto planets, onto the surface of planets, back into space, EVAing around. All that stuff is will be in Star Citizen. It'll be single player, but it will also unlock some features in Star Citizen itself that will, if you do well, maybe you'll sort of unlock the right to be able to get a certain ship, or be friendly with someone that will give you certain missions in the big online universe, which is Star Citizen.
Yeah. Okay. And last year you showed us the multi-crew demo. What can we expect at this year's Gamescom?
So we're sort of stepping it up. So at this year's Gamescom on our Friday event, we're going to be basically previewing the procedure, sort of the Planetary Technology that we have going on, which is based on some procedural tech, but it's very sort of artist driven and designer driven. So the procedural technology allows you to create the worlds fairly quickly and fills in some of the details, but the actual world, its composition, what type it is, what its continents are, whether there would be mountains or forests or oceans or lakes or whatever, is determined and driven by the artist and designer. And then you just do it in a quick way to build it out rapidly. But we're going to be previewing what the game's going to feel like, where you're going between these different play areas, where you're going to go from your space station and you get a mission, and then you fly to down to a planet and go into the landing location. In this case, it's going to be Levski, and you're going to talk to Miles Eckhart, who's a sort of shady owner of a mercenary company that's going to give you a mission to retrieve some data from a black box, and you're going to go back out and get in your ship with your friend, which was sort of showing as a multi-crew demo, and go to the Starfarer and get the black box, and then some other stuff goes there, and you got to go somewhere else and get down onto the surface of the moon. It's all seamless, so you're going, from first person to spaceship to planet to walking around first person, back out to space, and no loading screens, all seamlessly, and at this like crazy level of like visual fidelity and interaction detail. So it's really sort of showing how all the different elements come together like properly in Star Citizen.
You've mentioned the procedural generated world or universe. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, so for us, we're not trying to do 1 billion planets or a quintillion planets or whatever.
Like other space games?
No, I mean, honestly, there's different ways to do it, and so it's pretty cool what they did. I mean, I played a bunch of No Man's Sky and a bunch of Elite, but for me anyway, the important thing is to create a world that has history and character and story.
And much more detail?
Yeah, and more detail, that's definitely important. So, can't really go that wide, and you can't have it be random. So we construct it, and the procedural tools are used, like I was saying a little earlier, to allow you to flesh it out quickly. But it's all to be in design universe, and so we're aiming to have 100 star systems, which is a lot less than some of the other space games.
But it's still impressive.
But each one of our star systems is going to be super detailed and have real character, real history. The different locations will feel distinct, and it'll feel like you're in a crafted world. And to be honest with you, the level of detail we're going for is as much as you see in any other game that has this, like The Witcher or anything else like that. But instead of an area this big, you have planets and star systems.
The scale is
the scale's
huge.
crazy. Yeah.
Awesome. How often do you play the game by yourself?
Well, I get to play when we're testing this kind of stuff, but honest with you, it's like it's not at the point yet where like I can just get lost in it. So that's what I'm trying to get to, is I want to get all these bits in here, and then I just want to go out and kind of adventure around. I mean, that's the goal. We're shooting to get 3.0 out. Which is going to be our Planetary Tech launch, where we'll have the Stanton system, which is the first system we're prototyping out for the persistent universe. It has 4 major planets in it, dozens of moons, asteroid fields, dozens of locations to fly between, because there's also 40 or so space stations, comm satellites spotted around here. So there'll be lots of places for players to go. I'll have the first iteration of our basic profession, so you'll be able to trade or haul some cargo, be a mercenary, bounty hunter, pirate. All those will get fleshed out further with further patches, plus the Stanton system will get further fleshed out, because at the beginning it's going to be more fleshed in. Some of the places will be further on, like Levski and Arkport, but we'll have a stab at like Hurston and Microtech and Crusader, but they'll over time get more fleshed in, and we'll add more locations. And as we get Stanton sort of up to level and more of the gameplay mechanics are in, then we'll start to open up other systems. But the first iteration of that will be the end of this year, with sort of our big, what we're calling our big end of the year patch, which is 3.0, which will be the planetary patch, which is sort of, last year we did 2.0 was the first time we had the large world and the local grids and the multi-crew stuff, and now we're sort of stepping it up the next one. And the demo I just showed you is sort of the first example of like something that something you could do in this world that is we'll have different levels. There'll be some missions that will be sort of more sort of procedurally generated in terms of there's trade from here to here and we need people to go between these two places, but there'll also be sprinkled in there some missions with more character, more story that we've already sort of crafted and designed. And so we'll have these mission givers. One of them is a guy called Miles Eckhart, who we saw in the demo, and in the 3.0 he has a lot more stuff to give you, and you would go to Levski to get stuff from him, but you may go to Arkport to get stuff from someone else, or Hurston to get something else, and those combined. And so really 3.0 is going to feel much more like a full game you'll be spending a lot of time with. Still loads of stuff to be done, but I'm really excited by it.
That's it? Do you have to say something to your fans out there?
I just have to say thank you to anyone that's backed Star Citizen. Thank you, because I won't be able to be making this thing without you. Thank you so much. And if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. I think we're doing some pretty awesome stuff, and it's kind of fun to see it be built and contribute to it being built. So thank you very much.